We are 1 week away from crowning our winner. It will either be 4 horsemen or the team who the judges advance right now. Welcome to the next great Starship. Hey guys, welcome. I'm Sandy Gardner, and these are our 5 judges. Chris Smith.
I'm Chris Smith, lead ship modeler, Austin, Texas.
Chris Olivia.
Chris Olivia, Chief Visual Officer for Cloud Imperium.
Chris Roberts.
Games.
Cloud Imperium Games.
Branding. Chris Roberts, Project Director, Star Citizen, Head of Cloud Imperium Games.
Mark Skelton.
Mark Skelton, Art Director, the best judge.
Wow.
I said it. It happened.
Fair enough.
And Sean Tracy.
Sean Tracy, U.S. Engine Business Development Manager, CryEngine Evangelist with Crytek, Austin, Texas. Nice. Second best judge. Third best.
Just a
best.
general
Shit.
nice guy.
You're knocking yourself down.
So Sean, this is the final phase of the competition, the in-engine part, and you are the expert for that. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what that means?
Again? God.
Well, yeah, it's the most important part of the competition, obviously, is getting this ship actually into the engine, where the players are going to see it, where they're actually able to experience the ship, fly it around, see it in game. So obviously, it's the most important. It's the final part, putting everything together that they've worked on, all the concept design phases. All of this leads up into the final sort of production-ready version of the ship. So, yeah, excited to see. Easy to do? There's a learning curve to it. That's the thing. There is some technical challenges that you got to overcome, and it really depends on the design of your ship, how you've modeled things, how you've textured things. So there's a lot of different points that they'll have to get through to get it in engine. So it's always impressive to see it once they've got it in the game itself. It's cool to see.
So as you know, there are 3 teams left, and you can only choose one to go through. However, the save team, 3 Dingo, were unable to make the deadline, which leaves us with... Damn it.
Seriously?
What happened?
They were so excited, too.
Yeah, we were excited.
So we only have the 2 teams to see today.
Wow.
For which you have to pick one. 2 very
I guess
strong.
that makes it easier.
I guess it makes it easier a little bit. I'm disappointed.
It is kind of a bummer because the 3 Dingo design was fun and they were fun, so maybe they just had too much fun celebrating the fact that they got saved.
Maybe.
And anyway, but
A little too much fun.
I'm voting for them anyway. So.
I wanted to
just
party
out of-
with them.
out of-
I wanted them to come out. And
Yeah, I wanted to see them at the
solidarity
finale.
for your
That's
Italian
what we were hoping
heritage.
for.
So the first team we're going to see is Infinite Shui Monkey.
Okay.
Introducing the Scimitar, named after the feared ancient weapon, and pretty much as its name suggests, it will cut through your enemy lines. Its appearance will bring fear to those that oppose you. Its power will overwhelm even the toughest forces. Its multifunctionality will astonish your crewmen. This piece was forged at our finest annual aerospace facilities. Kept under secret for years during development and put through the hardest performance tests. You will find there is no competing ship. And now, on to the more technical presentation. As you will see, we've put a lot of work into polishing
That's
the
what
ship
basically a
and getting
secondary
all the
plugin that's
assets to that.
surprisingly.
Yeah, it could be a primary one though too.
Why do they need the wheels?
Just a simple one,
if
though.
they have that kind of landing gear.
Looks good though.
Because you need to move things around efficiently. Wheels are actually a smart thing to use.
Oh shit.
Well, because if you're on a flight deck, you don't want to have to
Roll it
hit your
around.
thrusters to move 10 feet. You want to roll it around.
Yeah, Chris. Cool.
We've improved all textures and shaders, since this was one of the main critiques in our last stage video. Like this, we can now also present you different variations of the ship, may it be rescue operation or may even pirating.
We've also worked hard integrating our ship into the CryEngine, not just physicalizing all assets and integrating the animations, but also creating cool animations to show off the ship. We believe most of you have already seen our last videos where we explained all the functionality of our ship in more detail, so this time we will just let the pictures speak for themselves.
Agreed.
Look at this. Look at the.
But look
what's
how
nice
big
here?
the dude is.
That's
Wow.
Like,
Yeah.
how could
We should
that
have
dude
one of
sit in
those.
that chair? There's
Yeah,
no
those
way.
chairs.
He's
We
kinda
should have
proud
one of those.
One of them's got an arm here.
All three of us would like to say a big thanks for all of your support on this journey till now. It's really meant a lot to us to see all your forum feedback and to hear from you your suggestions for the ship. And we'd also like to say a big thanks to CIG for hosting this competition and bringing us together to work on this project. So, finally we'd like to say see you in the verse. IXM signing off, and good night.
All right, let's start over here, Sean.
Actually, so Mark in the previous episode mentioned the kind of random paneling or no, sorry, Chris, you mentioned that, not to steal your thunder.
Thank you.
Give it to Mark. You know,
I mentioned
it does a lot.
Mark just said frequency a lot.
Frequency.
And
right.
second and third reads
Second
and
and third
looks.
Yeah, all that.
And fourth
Garbage.
read.
So
Yeah,
I kind of felt like the
I thought
paneling
maybe
was.
were we talking about football or what's happening?
Yeah.
Anyways, the paneling was a little bit all over the place for me. But let's talk about the in-engine side of things. It's actually really good. They did a lot of animation there, which can be difficult to do. It's all rigid body animation. There's not a lot of super complicated skinning on that, which is good. Yeah, I mean, generally, I think it was a good-looking ship. The materials could be popping a little bit more, but maybe it's just the lighting that's not actually doing it justice. The interior, in terms of scale, seemed a little bit small. Just having the reference of the actual character within the interior, it made everything look really small. That was the thing, like he was in sort of a kid's playhouse.
Maybe
or
that character
like
was like 7 feet tall. I don't know.
It could be, but I'm pretty sure your
Be like
character's
Andre the
1.83
Giant.
meters tall exactly.
Under the
So
joint.
the reveal of it could have been a bit better. The presentation of it could have been even better than what they had showed up there, I think.
How were the reads for you, Mark?
Yeah, I was going to talk about that a little bit, actually. The interior-wise, it's got a good, like, first read, second read, which is, like, that just means, like, the detail as you go up, like, the clumps of detail that you put in, like, you want to make sure that you have, you know, again, I'm reiterating, but areas that are clean and then areas that are dense with detail so that your eye has, you know, something to move around. But
it's got to be balanced to where
it's got to
not-
be balanced. I think interior-wise, again, they've got a good first read. I think their block-in is good. They just need to take it to that second level, start adding some more details. Again, like I was talking about in the previous episode, like some lighting and some decal indications of where the character should go, and some thought behind engineering would be good. But this ship, honestly, has grown on me. I mean, when I first saw it, you know, the concept, I thought it was kind of blocky, but it's come a long way.
It's
and
still kind of blocky.
It is, but it's kind of grown on me, and I don't know, man. It feels pretty strong. I think the material work could actually be better. I think that's where they fall down, is their materials.
Chris Smith, what do you think about the materials?
Yeah, I agree. The material was okay. It was sort of a weak spot. The paneling was sort of very simple. I didn't really see the tiling texture. I mean, it just looked like they had a tiling texture with no really panel detail in there. And they had some panels in there that were cut in geometry, it looked like. But overall, yeah, the texture needed some more love, I think. The material was a little lackluster. The model is cool. I mean, the ship overall has some really cool stuff. It's a unique design with its blocky design. It's cool. It's like a real simple shape, right? And they had a lot of cool animations on it, actually. That was probably the best part, was all the fidelity that they put into it and everything. And it looked like they thought about thruster placement and stuff like that. But yeah, on the art side, materials didn't work. The interior of the cockpit was a little low res still and not quite finished, I thought. In the front area, it just looked very plain. Like Mark said, it needs more markings. I mean, it was like the first read. Yeah. It was like a block out of the cockpit. It needed more. It needed the third and fourth and fifth reads.
Fifth reads?
Whoa,
yeah.
whoa. I mean, once you get to the fifth one,
it's going deep.
Yeah, you go crazy. So, I mean, it has potential, but I don't think it's quite there yet. Yeah.
Okay, Chris O.
I like the interior. The exterior is very blocky, but I think the silhouette is nice, even for as blocky as it is. But the paneling and texturing on the exterior was very busy and clunky, and the lighting didn't help. The presentation wasn't that great. And everybody has to be careful with depth of field and everything glowing and popping in the background. It's just overused sometimes if it's not done properly. It takes away, distracts. So yeah, it's just I think it's okay. It's not bad.
Mr. Arena Commander.
I'll give it a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I love the shirt. It's awesome, by the way.
Let's see the whole logo. Come on.
Yeah. Excellent.
No, so the level of animation and detail and figuring out how things fold up and how they fit in and how they work was really impressive. We kind of saw that at the previous modeling stage, and it's really nice to actually see that working in engine. I mean, there's no faking it there. It's all in engine. It was cool that they were doing particle effects for the engines. That was kind of a nice touch that we haven't seen on any of the other stuff. You could even see it hit the ground and do that. The interior was laid out nicely. I mean, I like that room where the table folds out. You get the 6 chairs, or there's looks like a sort of medical operating arm thing comes down. So that was all pretty cool. I will say that some of the interior geometry was a little low poly for me, so the cockpit definitely. There's a couple of places also in the sort of zooming around that I felt like there could be more. And then the materials is a big issue, right? The texturing and the materials. I'd say that if you went back and looked at the history of the Infinite Shrew Monkey, their gun was really great. It animated, had particles, did all the rest stuff. But again, the texturing materials was not as high standard as the rest of it, basically. So I would say that's what's kind of holding it back for me right now. The outside, I think, could be kind of cool for that sort of look of a ship. The materials really sort of bring it down for me. So if it had some more time, PBR, all the rest of stuff, I think it could be pretty cool.
PBR would make it
I'm not in love with it right now.
Sure. That's one of the harder parts of the engine to learn, actually, is the effects system, generally. So the fact that they got the thrusters looking the way it did. And that was actually one of the cooler parts of the ship, I think, generally, was the thrusters. The way they looked with the glow going on. You would be able to read this in space very easily, even from a distance where they're moving and things like this. So yeah, that was cool to see those particle effects in engine. So really helps.
All right. Well, the final video is Shard Collective. Let's check it out.
That's
kind of entrance. Yeah, that's awesome.
That looks beautiful.
I mean,
brilliant.
perfect presentation too. You know, the right colors.
Eye level.
Their exposures are all messed up though.
You know what I think it is? I think it's the spec. Like now that the light is hitting it directly, that spec is like really showing like the dark. Because they put a lot of lines in the spec, I think.
Like maybe.
Which is making it more apparent.
It's a cool shot.
Chris Couch. Chris,
I think it's a badass ship. It looks beautiful from eye level, you know, looking up at it. I think it's really cool. I think some of the metal texture, I think it looks really, really cool, but I think it was a bit overdone a little bit, and some of the paneling was, you know, needs some love and work. But I think it's just a beautiful silhouette. It looks strong and beefy, and I like it.
Chris Smith.
Like it.
I'm not. Oh, the interior.
I like it.
Some of the glowy lines were a bit too Tron-y. I think they could have been because you were talking about functionality and being safety, right? Because you don't want to trip.
Right.
So you need to be able to like see and walk around.
That's true. I'm always worried about
flying through space at 1,000,000 miles a minute. I don't want to trip in my ship.
You need your wheelchair.
Right. Exactly.
So they're a little bit too contrived. Some of the blue lines everywhere. I think it could have been done more elegantly, and just working on a little bit of the interactive light inside. A lot of things were really dark. So yeah, that's it. I don't know why I'm talking to you.
Talk to me. Look into my eyes.
Talk to me.
Look into my eyes.
Chris Smith.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite ships so far. Looks awesome. I mean, the style looks cool. It almost has like a racy feel to it when you look at the landing gear wheels and everything. Just has a cool color scheme. Everything. I thought the materials were great. Everything. The paneling was cool. Although, like you said, like in one of the shots, it looked like the paneling was almost a little bit different than in some of the other shots. So I don't know if that was like if they changed it or if it was like a lighting thing, or like in the specular, maybe there was some paneling there that didn't get shown in certain lighting situations. But overall, I mean, very impressed with the ship. I mean, I have a little soft spot for it since it's, you know, origin, I guess, since I built the 300i. You know, they included the 300i yoke in there, which was cool. Yeah, great style. One of my favorite ships so far.
Mr. Roberts.
No, it's fantastic. I mean, I think that's my favorite exterior view of the ship. So if you could take the Four Horsemen interior and the exterior from that and put them together, that would be
That's a great idea.
That would be brilliant. Yeah, I mean, just the outside of it, I love the feel of it from the front, from the profile side. You definitely got the side. Like, it was really cool watching, you know, the over the shoulder walking up with using our sort of RSI suit character, and you could really sort of feel it. You got an idea of how it would sort of feel in your hangar. And it was cool in that sort of reverse hangar shot. You open up over the planet and it lifts out and goes out. So it really felt like this ship lives in our universe. The level of the material used, the texturing, the color, everything, it was top notch. It was really great. Inside, I would say that would be my one critique in some of the interior areas, mainly just because it was a little too clean. So it was a bit clean, and I felt like if you went in there with PBR and some more material use, because PBR really can sort of make the leather sort of feel like leather, or make fabric feel like fabric, or like metal feel like metal, that would actually add a lot inside, because I just sort of felt like the inside was a bit too shiny, a bit too glossy.
It's all like one level.
So I would have, I'd like to see like a blend layer on the texturing there, so you can get a bit of weather, just to give it a bit of character, and then better material use inside, which I think if they go through and in the final, we're going to ask people to take it to PBR, so they'll have an opportunity to do that. Because if they do that inside, then that would be absolutely my favorite ship. I mean, it's just this ship and the Four Horsemen ship are two of probably the best examples of like super high quality all the way through, implemented in the engine, at next gen quality level. I mean, this could sit in Star Citizen or any big expensive game where they really spend a lot of time to make sure that the technology and the art is top. It's really great. I really like it.
Mark Skelton.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly right.
Yeah,
everything that he said. Yeah, the interior, it could use some work for sure, lighting. But man, the exterior is just beautiful. I think it's my favorite ship of the competition. I just love it, man. It's like hardcore, it's beefy, feels weighted correctly, the materials are nice.
The scale feels spot on. I mean, it feels big.
Yeah, looking up at that thing, it's like, it just feels
I would say like
massive.
One critique that I kind of missed was
that hey, wait a minute, you had your chance, buddy.
We're having a conversation.
Are we?
Are we?
The thrusters,
the thrusters had
color
like
of Mark's shirt.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the gold when it was going out.
It was too gold for me on the thruster.
That was beautiful, man. That was my favorite part.
Yeah, it reminded me too much of Mark's shirt.
I loved it.
That was like that would be like one nitpick.
Yeah,
it's like tone down the gold.
I think just their lighting in general. I mean, but they're not lighting experts,
polished,
but
it won't take much to get it.
No, it wouldn't take much at all. It's probably my favorite ship.
Sean Tracy.
I hope it wins.
I agree with a lot of the points that had been put forward. I mean, the in-engine presentation was probably one of the best. They showed it in a bunch of different environments, which was cool to see. There was one where it was just sitting in a very dark sort of sky, and then they put it in the hangar. Then they had the ship actually coming out of it. So the in-engine presentation was very, very well done.
How do you qualify that? How can you tell that it's better than another?
Just because it's a cleaner presentation. I mean, it's very clear what they're showing, how they're showing it, and what they're showing off in every shot. It's not kind of let's just put a camera here, let's throw a couple lights in, and then hope it looks good. It was an authored shot, and that's especially the longer you work with these kind of things, you really, really know it's an authored shot versus somebody that's just throwing a bunch of things in and just hoping that it ends up looking good. They knew their strengths of the ship, where it looks best, on the back sort of part, having the specular sort of roll off the back as it takes off out of the ship. It looks awesome. One of the best parts of the presentation, I thought, was they showed the ship at the start, and then immediately you jumped in game. You were third person right beside the ship, like you said. You saw the scale. Everything worked together, and you could really feel it. Tiny nitpicky critiques that could have made the presentation better. I don't think they have bad lighting inside the ship. It just comes across as dark, and it is a little bit of it's a technical part of the engine to deal with the exposures. So yeah, not to get technical or deep about it, there is a scene key that they have to adjust.
Does that.
They have to adjust for it. So because they have the outside was so bright, in fact, and they kept the exact same exposure when they go inside. So when we saw the character, he's really, really dark. You couldn't see a lot of the definition that I'm sure they had in that interior. So there were some things that weren't reading super well. I did notice that it seemed like the interior was all this sort of standard gloss across everything. It was actually the same amount on everything, so there was no sort of variation in the materials. But the exterior is completely different, actually. They have it all over the place. You can totally read the different materials. And actually, I really liked the gold.
Nozzles?
The gold. Yeah, the nozzles on it.
Oh.
And to be honest, that's pretty tricky to do in the version of the engine they have, because there's no colored specular, as you might know, without PBR.
Right.
So for them to actually be able to pull off that gold sort of look is pretty impressive.
So how did they do that?
This is a good question, man. They can do it with a combination of specular and lighting, so they could, or just go crazy diffuse. But it looks like it was all specular mostly. So, but yeah, it's high, very high marks.
All right, guys, it's time to vote, and we are going to do a live vote. And let's start with you, Mr. Roberts.
I'm going to go for Shard Collector. I mean, I really appreciate the work and the attention to detail the Infinite Shway Monkey put into their ship. And I quite even like the blocky look, but I just sort of feel the final stage with texturing and the materials, it's not at the level as the Shard Collective one, the Shard Collective one. And also there's just something, you know, I look at that ship and I go, yeah, I want that in my hangar. I want to, you know, I want to fly that ship and you know, that shot walking up to it, where you could, so you were at, you know, your point of view.
Chills.
Yeah, you're like, okay, this is cool. So it is Shard. It's the Shard Collective for me.
All right. Chris Smith?
Shard all the way, for sure. I mean, best style so far on the exterior, I think. And yeah, I would like to really see them go head-to-head with Four Horsemen. Those are the best ships so far.
So, with Chris O's vote, this may make your couch irrelevant, but we'll just ask you anyway, so hold your horses. Okay. Chris O.
Horses. Four horses.
What do y'all think? No, I don't want to hear what you say. Let's make this couch irrelevant completely. I'm going with Shard all the way.
All right. Congratulations, Shard Collective. But before we... Okay, come on.
Let's talk to the irrelevant people.
Yes.
Does it matter, really?
Mark?
Say it at the same time.
Yeah, ready? 1, 2...
Oh, wait, we got to do this.
What's this?
Ready? Remember?
He wasn't part of it.
3, I love you.
Shard!
Oh,
Wait, you missed it.
Oh my gosh.
Shard. Yeah, we would. Well, I would have voted Shard. Absolutely.
Congratulations, Shard Collective. We will see you here live at the YouTube space on Saturday, June 7th. So get your passports ready, because I know all three of you are in different parts of the world.
It's going to be
So
exciting.
give it up for Shard Collective.
So cool.
Come on.
Well done. Well done.
Very nice.
Rocked it, man. All that hard work paid off.
So, Infinite Shway Monkey and 3 Dingo. Why not?
Sure.
Okay.
Yep.
Go into the third place
Keep 'em.
pool. So, guys, get in there and vote for your third place getter. Start voting right now. The voting polls are open. be Four Horsemen or Shard Collective? You guys decide. There will be a live vote during the finale next Saturday, June 7th. So join us live.
Awesome. See you there.
See you there.
See ya.